in the men's 1500 freestyle, and the Tunisian Hafnaoui against the US's Bobby Finke. There is 50 metres to swim, not even that. Hafnaoui turned in front, but Finke's coming to get him here. Hafnaoui and Finke stroke for stroke. What a finish to a 1500 freestyle final. It's the Tunisian and the American. Hafnaoui maybe narrowly. Hafnaoui versus Finke. Finke's coming after him. Hafnaoui's trying to find. There's nothing in this. What an incredible race. Hafnaoui wins it.
What an absolutely amazing men's 1500 metre final at the 2023 World Championships in Fukuoka. The tightest finish in the championship's history, with just 0.05 seconds separating Ahmed Hafnaoui from Tunisia and Bobby Finke from the USA. In today's video, we'll be looking at how the two-beat kick expertly employed by Hafnaoui saw him conserve enough energy over the course of the 1500 metres at a crazy average pace of 58.08 seconds per 100 to blow past the fast-starting Australian Sam Short to take the gold medal. I'll show you what elements of his stroke were in place to allow him to swim so effectively with this two-beat kick, and pose the question whether it's the right style for you. Spoiler alert, it's not for everyone. Hafnaoui's swim was the second fastest in history and only 0.52 of a second behind Sun Yang's 2012 world record. The race was especially exciting as double Olympic gold medalist Bobby Finke from the USA had famously won the 2021 Olympics in the same event with a blisteringly quick 25.38 seconds for his final 50 metres. So everyone knew he could finish strong. What is most interesting to me as a swim geek is that Hafnaoui stands at 1.95 metres tall compared to Finke at 1.85 metres. Hafnaoui swam the event with a very different style to Finke. When they both made their move past Sam Short at the 1000 metre mark, Hafnaoui had upped his stroke rate to about 84 strokes per minute, with a stroke count of 37 strokes per lap, versus Finke's 75 strokes per minute and 33 strokes per lap. So the taller guy was swimming with the shorter stroke. Hafnaoui's two-beat leg kick looked like it had been modelled off three-time world 1500 metre champion Gregorio Paltrinieri, albeit with a little bit more finesse. He purposely elected to save a monster six-beat kick until the last 40 metres, not dissimilar from the undisputed greatest world championship performer of all time, Katie Ledecky, who took her 16th title at this meet and in doing so surpassed even the great Michael Phelps. In contrast, Bobby Finke maintained a longer stroke and a stronger six-beat kick for the entire swim. The question is, which was the better technique for the 1500 metre freestyle event, acknowledging that these were the second and third fastest times in history? Simply amazing. Let's take a deeper dive at the whole event and see what tidbits you can pick up for your own swimming. The race was characterised by a very fast start from the world 400 metre champion Sam Short from Australia, who was 1.64 seconds ahead of Sun Yang's world record by the 450 metre mark. While Short is a phenomenal swimmer with huge prospects, he was a full 3 seconds up on his own PB at the 500 metre mark, and I had grave concerns for whether or not he'd be able to hold on to that pace. Nonetheless, he went on to finish third with a new Australian record, and in his own words, he'd have been happy with finishing last just to break the elusive 1440 barrier, which he did convincingly. Sam Short pocketed a complete set of medals at this World Championships, with a gold in the 400, silver in the 800, and now bronze in the 1500 metres, and I'm confident we'll see a lot more of the 19-year-old in the years to come. Sam Short also displays the so-called gallop style of freestyle, which I mentioned in my recent look at 2016 Olympic champion in the 400 freestyle, Mac Horton, who was able to sustain the strong kick required to push himself through the slight delay at the front of the stroke over an event lasting less than 4 minutes. But not over 1500 metres, where Horton finished 5th. You'll notice that Short has an extended hold with his right arm immediately before breathing to his right hand side. Underneath the water, you'll see how Short employs 4 kicks per stroke cycle, with an obvious pause as his left hand enters into the water to breathe to his right hand side. Both Hafnaoui and Finke also only breathed to their right hand side, which actually gave Hafnaoui a distinct advantage in the final 50 metres as he was breathing towards Finke, Whiffen and Short. Now to Hafnaoui and Finke. This amazing panning shot at 1220 meters really shows the difference in the strokes and kicking technique specifically employed by the two great swimmers. Finke has a super strong 6-beat kick which powers him through the slight dead spot we see with his left hand. Hafnaoui, in contrast, has a perfectly timed 2-beat kick without the slight dead spot with his left hand, meaning he doesn't need to compensate by kicking harder. This all explains the difference in both stroke rates between Hafnaoui at 84 strokes per minute versus Finke at 75 strokes per minute. And also stroke count. Hafnaoui at 37 strokes per length versus Finke at 33 strokes per length. The taller swimmer, Hafnaoui, is essentially swimming with a shorter stroke than the shorter swimmer, Finke, simply because he's identified that this allows him to swim with a much more economical 2-beat kicking action for the majority of the race. So was Finke wrong to swim like that? No, not at all. He's the reigning Olympic champion in this event and the 800 metres too. But it does show that Hafnaoui has worked with his coach to identify a technique that works best for him, and that just so happens to be quite similar to Gregario Paltrinieri. Clearly, finding one's own best stroke technique is what is important here. This aerial tracking shot is so good at demonstrating the difference between Hafnaoui's kick and Finke's. When we're tracking and falling from behind, look at how nice and tight Hafnaoui's leg kick is, just that steady 2-beat kicking rhythm, versus the white water that's coming off Bobby Finke. Again, these two kicking styles are working well for each respective athlete. The question is, which is best for you? So the 2-beat kick looks like this. Your right hand enters into the water as the left foot kicks down, and your left hand enters into the water as the right foot kicks down. It's like a contralateral connection between the left side and the right side of your body, and equally between the hands and the feet. Getting that coordination is a lot harder than it looks. In fact, I'd actually say it's much easier to swim with a 6-beat leg kick. Not from a physiological point of view, of course, but definitely from a coordination point. The 6-beat kick is really 3 times more frequent than the 2-beat kick, of course. As the right hand enters into the water until the time that the right one enters into the water again, 6 full kicks have been completed. Really, for every time the right hand goes into the water until the left one enters into the water, that's 3 kicks. You can see how it's a little bit confusing. When working to develop your kicking rhythm, I often think of it a little bit like tapping your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. It can take a lot of coordination, and took me personally around about half a year to actually switch from a 6-beat to a 2-beat kick. And even then, I still don't do it quite as nicely as I would have liked. The best 2-beat kick I've ever seen, is almost like poetry in motion, is watching Shelley Taylor-Smith, 7 times world marathon swimming champion. Look at how graceful and smooth it is. It looks like she's dancing or waltzing her way down the pool. And this is 10 years into Shelley's retirement. Pretty amazing. But the key thing here is, despite how economical and efficient a good 2-beat kick can be, it's certainly not for everyone. So here's my take-home points about whether you should try and adopt a 2-beat leg kick like Hafnaoui. 1. It's called a 2-beat kick as it's 2 kicks to each complete stroke cycle, right hand plus left hand. But you could just as well think of it as 1 kick to 1 stroke, i.e. as the left hand is about to enter into the water, the right foot should be kicking down, and vice versa. 2. In order to make the 2-beat kick work well, a great catch and higher stroke rate need to be in place. 3. Generally speaking, I've had poorer success with teaching the 2-beat kick to someone with poor body position than those who tend to float well naturally. Something to bear in mind. 4. Trying to match a 2-beat kick with an overly long pause and glide will require a much greater effort to propel yourself through that dead spot, leading to what we define as the overglider kickstart. 5. As I did when I met the world's most viewed YouTube swimmer, Shinji, back in 2015, I'd recommend either swimming with a longer, smoother stroke and a 4 or 6-beat kick, like Short and Finke, or a shorter, faster stroke with a 2-beat kick, like Hafnaoui and Paltrinieri. For me personally, the 2-beat kick with a higher stroke rate allowed me to win the 2013 Manhattan Island Marathon swim, but I've still been beaten by plenty of swimmers, usually taller than me, who make a longer stroke and stronger kick work for them. You've got to find what's best for you, and our Swim Smooth coaches are like magicians at helping you find your optimal stroke. So why not schedule a session today using the link on your screen now? Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a video teaching you how to execute a 2-beat kick really well. Thanks for watching.